Welcome folks to Aunt Sandy's Kitchen. Today we are going to be making baked ham with a simple light glaze. We bought a hickory hardwood smoked semi-boneless ham. It's already cooked, but you know, you gotta warm it up good. And it was 6 pounds. We took off the plastic and this little plastic disc that's over the bone. You take that off, washed it off, patted it dry, and that's how it looks. I'm gonna put I got a pan with a rack in it because I don't like my hams to be sitting in all that grease and stuff. And I put it under a cookie sheet. I'm gonna put about 1 inch of water underneath it. Probably 2 cups. That was 2 cups. We're going to flip it over and we're going to score it on the top because later on we're going to put a light glaze over it. If you liked this recipe and found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I put it on top of the rack facing down. If you need to see how long to do your ham, just look on the label. It'll tell you the times and the how much it weighs. Just go by that, or go get your thermometer and it'll tell you that too. So we need to wrap it up. You want a good tight fit because you don't want any of that steam to come out. Get it good and tight around there. We're going to put it in the oven at 325 for an hour. I'm going to make the glaze. The ham has cooked for 45 minutes, and we're going to put a 1/2 cup of honey, I sprayed my measuring cup with cooking spray so it would come out easy. A 1/2 cup of orange juice and a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. We're going to warm this up just until that brown sugar melts. After this melts and the brown sugar melts, we're going to pull our ham out. We're going to baste it. We're going to up the temperature to 425. And then we're going to pour it all over the ham. You can do it with a pastry brush, or you can just pour it over it, whichever one you want. And then we're going to cook it for 15 minutes uncovered until it's ready to go. We got the ham. I got my stove, my oven. We turned it up to 425, and I'm just gonna pour it real slow. Get it in those crevices. Check out my Etsy store for my merchandise. You can save some for when you flip it over and do the front. This is gonna cook for about 15 minutes, and then we're gonna let it rest for about 15 minutes. I pulled the ham out of the oven. It looks gorgeous, nice, shiny, brown, caramelized ham. Always make sure that you use a thermometer. Don't go by the looks. It needs to be between 140 or 145. Just pay attention to your instructions. I'm gonna let it sit a while. It's a light ham glaze because with our ham, we make other stuff with it. So I didn't want a real thick, sugary ham glaze on top of it. With ham, you can make anything: breakfast, lunch, dinner. Ham and biscuits, potato ham casserole. There's just many, many ways. One way is that we always make Spanish bean soup. And that's a recipe we got when we lived in Tampa, Florida. It is amazing. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite recipe. Also in the description, there will be a recipe and a link to my website to download a printable recipe. There is a link in the description to check out my Etsy store for Aunt Sandy's merchandise, as well as any affiliate links that I may have. Hey friends, welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making stuffed eggs, or deviled eggs as some people call them, 3 ways. I've got 9 eggs in my pot. I've filled my pot up with water to cover the eggs, and I put about a tablespoon of salt in that. And I'm waiting for it to come to a boil. When it does come to a boil, I'm going to pull it off the eye and let it sit for 10 to 12 minutes. The eggs have been setting for 12 minutes, and now while they were setting, I filled a bowl up with water and I put ice in it so it can get cold, because that's what you're going to put your eggs in. Be sure not to fill your bowl up with water all the way, because when you put your eggs in there, the level will come up. And as the ice melts, okay, we're going to let it sit in the water for 10 minutes. The eggs have cooled, and now we're going to crack them open and peel them. Then we're going to start halving the eggs and taking the stuffing out of them. You just take your knife, cut it in half like this. It's nice and pretty. Okay, I've got all the eggs separated. If you want to be just a little bit more fancy, you could kind of wash off the eggs if you wanted to, but I don't think there's no need in it. And take a fork, and this is just classic egg filling, classic stuffed eggs. This is what I like. Stuffed eggs, you can add anything you want to them. Some people don't like mayonnaise, so you can put mustard or other things in it. We're going to put just a dab of garlic. This is half a teaspoon. This is not even half a teaspoon. Put a little bit of pepper, a tad bit of salt, and some mayonnaise. Probably maybe a tablespoon, maybe a little more. We're just gonna mix it together. And a little bit of mustard. You don't want it to be too dry, but you don't want it to be runny. That consistency like that. I'm gonna get my egg. I want to put it right in the eggshell, like that. Got 6 of them. And that's what these look like. Sprinkle a little paprika on them for color, just a tad. Now some people don't like paprika, so don't put it on there. So we can make everybody happy. And that's regular stuffed deviled eggs. Now we're going to make stuffed eggs with olives in it. I've taken about a half a dozen olives and I've chopped them up real fine. And these are stuffed olives. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to mash my eggs, yolks. I'm going to put probably, I guess all of it. He likes a lot of olives. And he likes Miracle Whip. So those of you that don't like Miracle Whip, you can use mayonnaise. But he likes Miracle Whip. That's about 2 big teaspoons. I'm going to put pepper. I'm not going to put any salt in his because the olives are very salty. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic. This is a half a teaspoon. And I'm going to mix it all together. Now this is the recipe for 3 eggs. The recipe for 6 eggs will be down in the comments. We're going to mix it all up. Get it all incorporated. Okay. I have a little bit left, so I'm going to go to the first one. Put it in there, right on top. See what these look like. They're nice and stuffed. They got the olives in them. And I usually put an olive on top. I think I'll do that. This shows him which is mine and which is his. See, he knows which one is his with the olive. Now for the third, this is called bacon cheddar deviled eggs. I've got my eggs. Same as the other, I had 3 eggs. I've got 3 eggs with 3 yolks that I'm mashing together. I got it all mashed. And I'm going to put this is 1 large piece of bacon chopped. That's about a little bit more. 2 teaspoons. And then mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons. We'll put pepper, because the bacon is salty. And I'm going to put cheese, a half a tablespoon. Put a little bit more in there. And just a little shot of mustard. And we'll mix this up. I saved a little bit of the bacon for put it on the top. Take my egg and fill it. Smells delicious. They're going to be filled real good because they got the bacon and the cheese in it and everything. You can even put a shot of Tabasco sauce in this if you want it a little spicy. I was supposed to put Tabasco sauce in my husband's with the olives, but I forgot. So I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of bacon over the top. Let people know what's in it. And there you have it, bacon, cheese, deviled eggs. They look delicious. And you could put a little bit of cheese on top if you wanted to fancy it up a bit. Deviled eggs are so versatile. You can put anything in it, all kinds of flavors. You know, eggs are plain, but you can do so much with them. Or you can just smash it up and make a sandwich out of it. So I hope you try these recipes. Deviled eggs are good anytime, anywhere, and especially at Easter, during the summer, at a picnic, holidays. There's usually always a tray of deviled eggs. The difference between stuffed eggs and deviled eggs is that deviled eggs had a little heat in it by some kind of hot sauce or some kind of hot spice. That's how it got its name, the devil. Down in the comments, let me know what you like to put in your stuffed eggs. Also in the description, there will be a recipe and a link to my website to download a printable recipe. There is a link in the description to check out my Etsy store for Aunt Sandy's Kitchen merchandise. Welcome to Aunt Sandy's Kitchen. Today we are going to be making green bean casserole. We're going to start with sauteing garlic, mushrooms, and onion. I got 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to put our onion, our mushrooms, and we're going to saute these for a few minutes. I'll put the garlic in there in a few minutes because I don't want the garlic to burn. We're going to salt our water. I'm using frozen green beans instead of canned, but you can use canned. Put a little bit of salt. Now we're going to add our garlic. We're going to saute this. I've got my oven at 350. I've got my casserole dish. It's a 13 by 9. I've sprayed it. Some people use fresh green beans, but I'm using frozen. When the water boils, I'm going to put the green beans in the water just for a few minutes. I'm going to blanch them, and then I'm going to put them in ice water to stop the cooking process. Let's go ahead and put our pepper, probably just a little pinch. Good stuff. Okay, we got that sauteed. We're waiting on that water to boil. I'm going to put the beans in to blanch them. Let me drain this. Blanching is a two-step process of briefly cooking food, usually vegetables, in boiling water and then plunging it into ice water to stop the cooking process. This technique is used to preserve the food's bright color, texture, and nutritional value. The green beans have cooled off. Look at the color. They're pretty and green. We're going to drain them. Get all that water out. Okay, we're going to start mixing our casserole. Let's get all that water. I got 1 can of mushroom soup. And then we're going to put a cup of whole milk. I'm going to pour in my half and half. Get that mixed real good. And I'm just going to put a little bit of chicken broth in there. Not even a half a cup. So I'll have plenty of liquid. Okay, 1 cup cheddar cheese. And 1 cup of the good stuff. Crispy fried onions. These things you can just eat by itself. Sorry about that. I'm going to stir that around. Then we're going to put in our onion and mushrooms and garlic. And mix that. It goes together pretty fast. Now we're going to put in our green beans. It's the last thing. Just fold that in to your mixture. We're going to put this in a 9 by 13 pan and cook it for 20 minutes. Just smooth it out. We're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes, and then we're going to bring it out and we're going to put our topping on it. We've got the casserole out of the oven, and now we're going to fix the topping for it. I've got some Ritz crackers, and we'll put a tablespoon of butter. And just mix that together. I have a cup of cheese, cheddar, that I'm going to sprinkle over the top. Then I'm going to put the crackers, Ritz crackers. It's going to have a nice crunchy topping on it. And then we're putting a cup of the crunchy crispy fried onions. We're going to put it back in the oven for 10 minutes. The casserole has cooled off, so we're going to do a little taste test. You can see the layers, the crunchies, the green beans. Let's get a little bit of everything. Cheese. It's real good. As my friend used to say, it's tasty. Down in the comments, let me know what your favorite side dish is during the holidays. There's so many. Also in the description, there will be a recipe and a link to my website to download a printable recipe. There is a link in the description to check out my Etsy store for Aunt Sandy's Kitchen merchandise. Welcome, friends, to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making creamy corn casserole. We're going to start off with 32 ounces of frozen corn. And then we're going to go in with 1 can of cream of onion. I've never heard cream of onion. Smells good. So we're going to put that in there. Any corn casserole is good by my standards. And then we're going in with 1 can of cream style corn. Got a lot of good corn in there. Then we're going to go in with 4 ounces of cream cheese that I've softened. I just microwaved it a little bit. One egg beaten. 8 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese. And there is a little bit of cheddar in there. And I've got 4 cut up green onions that I'm going to put in here. I'm going to save a little bit for garnish. That should be enough. I've got a teaspoon of garlic, a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to mix it all together. I've got the casserole all mixed up. I have a 2-quart baking dish that I've greased with cooking spray. I have my oven preheated at 350. Now I'm going to put the mixture in the baking dish. Now I'm going to top it with, I crushed about 22 Ritz crackers in this bag. And I've melted 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to mix it. Get it all mixed together. This is going to be the topping for our casserole. Okay. We're going to put it in the oven at 350 for 45 to 50 minutes, but I'm going to check mine at 45. Each oven is different. We've gotten the corn casserole out of the oven, and look at that beauty. Isn't that good look? It was in there for 45 minutes, but I think 50 minutes would be even better to get it good and creamy. I'm going to take a taste. It's a little hot. You got the crunch of the topping and the gooiness of the corn and the cheese. This will make a wonderful side dish for any occasion or any dinner. Down in the comments, let me know what kind of way you like to eat corn. You like it on the cob, off the cob, in a casserole, just plain? Also in the description, there will be a recipe and a link to my website to download a printable recipe. There is a link in the description to check out my Etsy store for Aunt Sandy's Kitchen merchandise. Hey friends, welcome to Aunt Sandy's Kitchen. Today we are going to be making a holiday classic, 14 karat cake. That was my mother-in-law's recipe. She made it for years and years. I've still got the handwritten recipe that she wrote out when I first came into this family. And it is so good and moist, delicious. It has a cream cheese frosting on top. So let's get started. We're going to cream the sugar. And 4 eggs. We're going to beat them. Put that in there. And with that, we're going to sift our flour. This is plain flour. And then we got cinnamon, salt, soda, baking powder, and this. And we're going to throw that in there. And we're going to sift it. See, that's why you sift it. See those little particles in there? See them? Even it was a brand new bag of flour, it still had little things in it. Okay, we're going to put oil. We're going to mix that. We're going to add the flour mixture, put it on low. I've already greased and floured my cake pans. It's 2 9-inch. Scrape it down. Make sure it's good and stirred. A little more. I've got my pineapple, my coconut, my nuts, and my grated carrots. You just got 2 cups of grated carrots here. I've just grated mine with a box grater. You can do it in a food processor. We're going to put in the carrots. Got the carrots, and then we got the 8 ounce of pineapple. Back in the day, you could buy a can of coconut, but now I haven't seen that in years, so I had to buy the bag. But 3.5 ounces of coconut goes in there. And stir it around a little bit, mix it. And then we're going to add a cup of chopped pecans. Mix that. See, it hardly takes any time to make it after you get it all, you know, grated and chopped up. Okay. I've got my oven to 350. Preheated. We'll take our pans. See, I put Crisco, and then I dusted flour in this so it won't stick. So we're going to make sure it's all, see how it's supposed to look? You can see that. All that goodness. Whew. Now, if you're using an 8 by 10, not 8 inch, you'll have to use three of them. So let's get it. It's a very dense cake. I haven't made this cake in probably 6 years since I was in the hospital. But I used to make it regular during holidays. Let's get it on a flat surface so we can make sure it's same thing. little bit more in this one. Okay. Let's hit it on the cabinet for good luck. No, it gets the air bubbles out. We'll put it in our oven. And we're going to bake it between 30 and 40 minutes. I would check it at 30, see how it's doing, and go from there. We've got the cake out of the oven. It took 40 minutes to bake. You just have to check it. Each oven's different. And I've let it cool for about 30 minutes or so, and I flipped them over and kind of crumbly, but they have to be completely cool or your icing is going to run like the river of the Nile. So I've got 1 stick of butter, and all this has to be room temperature or it will lump. This is room temperature, real good. It's 1 stick of butter. I've got 1 block of cream cheese that I'm going to put in there. And we're going to whip it. We're going to put 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract in there. We're going to mix it. I have 1 box, 16 ounces of powdered sugar. I'm going to pour that in there. Slowly. Okay, we're going to whip it. We'll see how thick it is real quick. Okay. It looks like that it was spread, but if yours is too thick, then you can add a little bit of milk to it. My icing or frosting is done, and we're going to get the cake. gentle with it. See how flat it is there? I'm just gonna push the icing to the side. Just push it to the edge. Get you a thin layer. Okay. Now we're going to do the next one. See how flat it is? Kind of push it down a little bit. I'm going to do the top and the sides. If you want to get fancy with those dollops and all that stuff, you might want to double your icing recipe. Just bring it down there. Just ice it like you usually do a cake. If your icing is too not stiff enough, you can always put it in the refrigerator for a little, just, a few minutes. you want to. You can make some little waves. Kind of make it homemade looking. You just take your knife and do it like that. You paper towel and kind of clean your side of your cake pan like this. Or you can do it with a wet towel. Now you can fancy it up. You can crush up some pecans and put it on the side, or you can sprinkle it on the top. But usually I just take whole pecans and put them around the top of the cake. I'm just going to do this. You put one in the top. Now, how's that look? Now, here is 14 karat cake, homemade with cream cheese frosting. Everybody's gonna love it if you like carrot cake. So I hope you try it. Down in the comments, let me know what your favorite cake is. I hope it's carrot. Also in the description, there will be a recipe and a link to my website to download a printable recipe. There is a link in the description to check out my Etsy store for Aunt Sandy's merchandise, as well as any affiliate links that I may have. Thank you for watching my videos, and as always, God bless.